think that is going to be a flagrant too.
And we have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen.
Jason Whitlock issued the warning months ago, and he did it publicly. He said DiJonai Carrington was eventually going to seriously injure someone in the WNBA. That warning came after another incident earlier in the season, when Carrington's fingernail caught Jessica Shepard across the face during a game against Minnesota. Whitlock argued that the league had become far too accepting of Carrington's aggressive style of play, and that if officials didn't step in, sooner or later someone was going to get badly hurt. Nothing meaningful changed. Then came August 8, 2026. Sophie Cunningham broke free for what looked like a routine transition layup. Carrington chased her down from behind, wound up with her left arm, and made heavy contact across Cunningham's face and neck. The impact sent Cunningham crashing hard to the floor without even having a chance to brace herself. And suddenly, that warning from months earlier didn't sound nearly as easy to dismiss.
I don't think that DiJonai intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the neck.
And by this point, the conversation had grown far beyond one hard foul. From Caitlin Clark fans watching at home to some of the biggest names in basketball, people were once again questioning how the league handles these increasingly physical moments around the Indiana Fever. Even LeBron James has publicly supported Clark before, reaching out during her injury and encouraging her through the pressure surrounding her. So after watching yet another Fever player take heavy contact to the face, one question becomes impossible to ignore. How many more incidents like this have to happen before the league decides enough is enough?
So DiJonai Carrington last night almost took off Sophie Cunningham's head, gets ejected from the game, rightfully so, runs to the locker room, gets on Threads, and types out white privilege. Which is crazy, especially coming from a gal that's literally wearing a bleach blonde wig. Now let's talk about black privilege for a second. Doing something completely wrong and unethical, and instead of taking responsibility, pulls out the race card and acts like a victim. Yeah, that's what we just witnessed here. The sheer lack of accountability on DiJonai's end, that was so intentional. Look at DiJonai staring at Sophie's head the whole time, and look at her reaction after. That's anger. A normal reaction would be to ask if Sophie was okay or immediately apologize. But instead she shoves her. The audacity to go and cry wolf and pull out the fake victim card and scream white privilege. All the while making Sophie Cunningham bleed as a result to her actions. People are tired of everything being blamed on race. I wouldn't be surprised if DiJonai did this in response to Sophie Cunningham coming out vocally in response to protecting women in women's sports. This was not white privilege. Under DiJonai's definition of white privilege, here's some more white privilege. Getting ejected from the game was called consequences to actions, and DiJonai should be thankful that an ejection is all that happened, because she ought to be suspended from the entire league.
With the Sky up 18-17 late in the first quarter, Cunningham found herself on the break with a clear path to the rim. She made the layup, but Carrington hit Cunningham in the side of the head with her left arm on her way up. Cunningham went crashing hard to the floor and immediately popped back up to confront Carrington. The play was originally called a flagrant one, but was upgraded after review.
So a black girl clotheslines a white girl on the basketball court, was ejected from the game, and then immediately tweets out white privilege. The claim is so outlandish, I don't even know how to rebut it or what commentary to provide, because in what world does it make sense, right? Then you have Sports Illustrated with this headline after the game. Let me just remind you what Sophie Cunningham said. Actually, I'll just put it right here. This is what Sophie Cunningham said regarding protecting women's sports. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. So I guess this is the price of standing for women and for girls. And what, we all just have to accept it as karma? No, this is assault far beyond what is normal on a basketball court. And who would be surprised if I told you that DiJonai Carrington, the woman who did that to Sophie, is the same woman who did this to Caitlin Clark. One more time, just in slow-mo. Oh yeah, that pesky white privilege. Final thoughts. The WNBA is a joke. Sophie Cunningham is an icon, and black people like DiJonai Carrington can, in fact, be racist.
Cunningham had already broken free for what looked like an easy layup when Carrington chased the play down from behind. As Cunningham went up, Carrington swung her left arm across and caught her high around the face and neck, sending her crashing backward to the floor with no real chance to brace the fall. Cunningham immediately sprang back to her feet, furious, and got right into Carrington's face. There was even a brief shove before Michaela Timpson, security, and others stepped in to separate them and keep the situation from escalating.
Take a walk with me, take a walk with me, take a walk with me. There is craziness going on in the WNBA. DiJonai Carrington tweeted out white privilege from the locker room of a game that she was playing in. Get this, she fouled Sophie Cunningham hard. Sophie Cunningham, obviously white person, fouled her hard. Flagrant 2, gets ejected, goes to the locker room and tweets out white privilege in the middle of the game. Now here's the kicker to me. A flagrant 2 has to be contact that can lead to an injury that looks excessive. DiJonai, it was about as excessive as possible. If there was any evidence of there being white privilege, this was not it. What the hell do y'all think?
That was the atmosphere surrounding the Indiana Fever on August 8, 2026. But the controversy didn't end when Carrington walked off the court. Roughly 8 minutes after the foul, while Sophie Cunningham was still out there playing, Carrington went to Threads, posted "white privilege," and tagged the Indiana Fever directly. Then she added another post, 8/23. That date immediately caught everyone's attention for one reason. August 23rd was the next scheduled meeting between the two teams. So what had already been an ugly on-court incident suddenly carried an entirely new level of tension heading into the rematch.
Chicago's guy DiJonai Carrington was ejected for a flagrant 2 foul after hitting Sophie Cunningham in the head on a layup, then posted white privilege while tagging the Indiana Fever. My, how times have changed. So this black woman in this LGBTQ-led sport intentionally fouled Sophie Cunningham, got ejected because it was called a flagrant 2, and instead of just owning and accepting responsibility of the fact that she now was receiving the punishment for said foul, she wants to call racism. She wants to call white privilege. She wants to play the race card. I'm telling you, times have changed so much. This is how ridiculous this is. Sophie Cunningham has literally been dragged. She's been called every name but a child of God. Coaches have come out and spoken against her. Fans have come out in the name of calling Sophie Cunningham anti-trans and transphobic. It's not far-fetched to say that the league itself in totality does not like Sophie Cunningham. And yet, after intentionally grabbing Sophie Cunningham around her neck and getting ejected for that, DiJonai runs to Twitter to say the reason why she was ejected was because of the white privilege Sophie Cunningham, a white, straight female, carries in a basically 80% black, almost 90% LGBTQ-led league. Oh yeah, that's where Sophie Cunningham is getting her white privilege, in this WNBA minstrel show of a freaking basketball league. That's where her white privilege is starting to show. DiJonai Carrington, you're a fucking joke. You went up thinking that you were gonna get the ball. You knew that you weren't anywhere near getting the ball, and so while you were up in the air, you figured this was your chance to grab her, Sophie Cunningham, around her neck and bring her down by her neck. This absolutely was a flagrant 2, and she honestly should be suspended for a game. This is why we can't ever get to basketball, because bitches like this do shit like that. Unnecessary.
The warning wasn't hidden. It was public, direct, and impossible to miss. Jason Whitlock had already said Carrington's style of play was eventually going to get someone seriously hurt. The league had seen the criticism, but nothing significant changed. Then came the breakaway against Sophie Cunningham. Carrington chased the play down, swung across Cunningham's face, and sent her crashing to the floor. Suddenly, Whitlock's warning didn't sound exaggerated anymore. Because this wasn't the first time Carrington had been at the center of a controversial high-contact play. Go back to the 2024 playoffs, when she matched up against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever in the opening round. As Connecticut's top perimeter defender, Carrington spent much of that series guarding Clark. And early in Game 1, she made contact with Clark's face, forcing her out of the action briefly. Different season, different Fever player, but once again, Carrington was at the center of a play involving contact to the face. And that's what keeps this conversation alive. The question now isn't just what happened on one possession. It's whether the league did enough, early enough, to stop a pattern from becoming something more serious.